go. Let's get this. All
right, man. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to S2 TV. I am Stuart Breeding, and that was me this past Saturday at the USA Powerlifting Raw Nationals. Something I've been training all year for. That was a 514.7 American record, and it stood for about a minute. I had no idea what was going on. I set the record. That was my second attempt, and even though the lift looks easy, I pulled my back from the right hamstring all the way across to my left side, and I got done. I set the bar down, and I knew that was my last attempt. The lifter that was right behind me beat that record by a half a kilo, by like 1.2 pounds. So I had the American record for about a minute. All in all, it was a pretty good meet. I had been doing a couple of videos talking to you guys about prepping, getting ready. I started this about 20 weeks ago at 176 pounds. I was at 10% body fat, so it was still pretty lean. And I had to get down to about 163 to make weight for this meet. So we spent about 20 weeks, getting everything dialed in, getting all my nutrition dialed in, and I actually made weight about 6 weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago. So I was actually able to refeed my caloric content, my macros increased slightly every week for about the last 5 weeks. So believe it or not, going into the meet, I was eating 350 carbs a day, 350 grams of carbs, 200 grams of protein, and about 60 fat grams per day. I actually had a couple of high days where I was at 400 and 450 grams of carbohydrates. So it's been really fascinating watching my body adapt and being able to increase the amount of carbohydrates specifically and stay at 162 pounds. I actually kept dropping that past week. I weighed in at 159, which is not great. I was almost 4 pounds light. And I knew I was light that week going into the meet, but I was just too nervous to eat it back. And I should have just done it because that 4 pounds really added up at the end of the day. My squats went pretty well. Training overall was not going well. I really peaked probably about 3 weeks ago. So I wish the meet was about 3 weeks ago, but it wasn't. So I didn't quite get the lifts that I wanted, but I still did pretty well. My squats, I did 435. It was interesting because from the very beginning, my legs just felt really weak and wobbly underneath me, and you can kind of see from the walkouts that I'm not confident with the bar. I wanted about a 455 squat. The American record in the squat is 484, so I wanted to get within 30 pounds of that with the goal of getting that this year. I want to get a 500-pound squat this year. Bench press. When I first started benching, I hadn't touched a bench yet. I hadn't really touched any of these lifts up until last year. I hadn't squatted or deadlifted more than 250, 275 pounds for the last almost 30 years. I hadn't competed since I was 18 years old, so last December was my first meet in 29 years. This was my first national competition in 30 years. So it's been quite a little layoff, and it's been an interesting process. The bench press, is really starting to move well. I have 2 AC separations in both shoulders. Some of you people out there that have shoulder issues know exactly what I'm talking about. The bench press is a little bit cumbersome for me. Bringing the bar down is much like juggling on the way down. My shoulders are actually kind of shifting around and grinding as the bar is descending or moving into the eccentric portion of the lift. So I was actually able to do a 270 bench press, which was about 20 pounds more than my last one. I'm looking to get a 300 bench press this year. So it's going pretty well. So that's, the deadlift, once again, through training, it was just not going well. Training was really kind of weird this time. And I think most of it has to do with this past year. I've experimented with a lot of different processes. I have read and examined every book and philosophy on strength training, and it's really taken me a year to figure out, what accessory movements are right for my body, and what I'm just wasting time on. How to lift, the amount of volume that my body responds to. The nutrition took 20 weeks of tweaking, dialing in, and I'm finally in a place where I feel like I can stay at this body weight indefinitely and not starve to death. So really this year, going into this year, is what I'm super excited about. And I'm going to go ahead and just tell you, last year I was just lifting weights. I was figuring it out, seeing how I was doing. This year, you guys out there, you had better pack a lunch, because I am coming full on. I want to win the Masters Raw Nationals this year. I want to set the Masters American record in the squat, deadlift, and total. And in the foreseeable future, I'm working towards the world record in the Masters division. And my ultimate goal, by the time I am 52 years old. So those of you who don't remember, Dr. Squat, Fred Hatfield, 52 years old, squats 1,014 pounds for a world record. Not only squats it, he puts his ass on the ground with it. It's one of the most classic lifts of all time. 52 years old, squats 1,014. I'm 48. I'm not quite 48. I'll be 48 in April. So I got 4 years to work on getting the world record in the 74 kilo or 163 pound weight class. And that record would be somewhere, I believe Taylor Atwood just this past week set it at 584. It was about 474. The Masters world record is just a little shy of that at 563. So hefty goals, but shit, if you don't dream big, why dream at all? It's what gets me up out of bed in the morning and gets me excited about lifting. But I'm dead serious. I'm going to go for it, or I'm going to get a hip replacement in the process. It's been a blast. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Tiff, who has been, steadfast. She's been right there with me the whole time. She's bared with me through training, through me being hangry for many months. And did the meet with me, was right beside me through the whole thing. It was really just cool to watch her, understand the game of powerlifting, and to be my second during that, so I could just tune into my lifts. She did an amazing job. It's just been fun to do this with her. So I owe her the world. It's been a great process, and I really appreciate you guys watching and tuning in. There's going to be a lot more coming up. I kind of thought about doing a meet in December, but it's a little too soon. The next meet I do, I really want to increase my total by about 100 pounds, so we're probably looking somewhere around March or April, but I already started training this past Monday. So I got done with the meet on Saturday, and Monday I was back in the gym because it is on this year, baby. All right. Thanks for watching.